Spoken like a true, I don't know, something. Oh, yeah, right, my camera. Hi, how you doing? I forgot I moved my camera down. There we go. Hey. Hey, there we are. Now we're right in the middle of shit. Perfect. What's up? How's it going? Happy Sunday. How's things? I hope you're ready for the recap. Hey. I hope you're ready for the makeup for Wednesday, since Wednesday was a fuck show. We complain about cold when it hits below 24. Yeah, read previous statement. Fuck you. I mean, I would kind of complain about that too, but honestly, anything over 24 fucks with the MS too much. So, unfortunately, I'm in that comfort zone of like between 10 and about 25 degrees kind of thing. Anything outside of that range really starting, well, yeah, indoors I'm fine, right? But like when it gets to be anything below like 0, actually minus 10 really is where it really starts to hurt. 30 yesterday, 27. No, it's as much as I want to say I love that, that's too much for me now. Started with 20 and now it's minus 4. Fuck's sake. Admittedly, ours has changed. Well, that sucks. Ours has changed pretty drastically since last week, right? Since we had that brilliant little fucking blizzard out of nowhere. Coffee cup is very full. Tomorrow minus 7. Oh God. What are you like catching up with what we had last week, or what's the deal there? Cause that sucks. Sucks, I tell you. Back up 20 following day. Yeah, it's supposed to be like 25 by Tuesday here. Good times. Good times, let me tell you. Hi. Your head is leaking. That's funny. The geeky girl cometh. That sounded dirty, but I said what I said. Need to feel a bit warm? Yeah, well, I just finished making one too. Obviously. Now that we have some, I'm sure you... Let's see if I can do this without spilling it everywhere. Yeah, you guys can almost see where it's still at right now. Because this is a 20-ounce mug. So, of course, doing my normal 12 ounces out of the Keurig doesn't quite fill it. So I drop another 6 in it, and yeah, she's right up to the rim. Which, by the way, as a greedy coffee kid, okay, great. As somebody who has got the late-stage MS, yeah, that's not smart. I'm just saying. Because the length of time that it takes me very, very carefully to get the car, or to get, I said car, to get the cup from here to here. Yeah. Well, I'd look real confused. Well, I mean, that fits, because squirrels are confused. How many times do I tell you it's a state of mind for me? Coffee. Wife went and got the 100-count box of Keurigs. So that'll last for a week, maybe 2. Alright. So hello to all. Yeah, as you can tell, I wasn't there to bullshit with you during the intro because I was getting a coffee. I would, but my wife would have my ass. So unless you guys want to like pay for it, in which case I'll do it. I'll put it right over here beside the printer. You know, because that's a brilliant idea. We won't tell. Yeah, and she won't notice either. Of course she won't. Why would she? Right? again, you're not wrong, Dan. You're giving great ideas here. You are. But you guys want to cover that one. No, don't hide the snacks. Yeah, why would I help you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, today obviously we'll bullshit for a bit, and then we will get into the makeup for Wednesday, which again, the title of which today, as you can see in the description there, how your ADHD emotions aren't all the same problem. Was some interesting reading actually on that one, I will say. Tomorrow, for those of you that are following the Substack, Nadia, and who pointed out my little fuck up last night, Nadia, I accidentally posted twice yesterday. I put up 2 articles yesterday. I didn't mean to. The one that I posted last night was supposed to be for tomorrow, but I changed what I'm putting up for an article tomorrow, so I was trying to move that one to Tuesday, and I accidentally went, yeah, and out it went. Found one. Ooh. Oh, that's alright, $50. Ain't so bad. I was confused. You were confused. I get the same notification. Like, anytime I post it automatically on Substack, it gives me the notification too, right? So, like, I'm like, okay, do, and I'm doing my thing. And I thought, okay, yeah, I got the Tuesday set up, whatever. Apparently I didn't. Apparently it was, what was it? I think I accidentally clicked the when to unlock for everybody instead of when to post, now that I'm thinking about it. So when I did that, I'm just like, okay, and send, and my phone goes off, and I'm like, ruh-roh. Yeah, so there's that. So I changed tomorrow's in honor of 420. I figured, how could I miss an opportunity like this to gather all of the possible information that I could find? Yeah, you got a bonus one, whatever. So I gathered all the info that I could find on ADHD and cannabis, and that is going to be tomorrow's article. Because how the hell could I miss that opportunity? So it's actually a rather lengthy one for those of you that are interested. Both sections, like the free section and the behind the scenes stuff, they're both pretty fucking long. And the number of sources I have in that one is far more than I think I've had in any other. Which one is this? Right, okay, so that's Wednesdays. Scheduled. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Okay, here it is. I'm just scrolling down the article. Okay, so the number of sources and citations that I had to pull for this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different papers that I had to pull for this one. Now I have to be productive. Well, no, today's a coaching session. You don't necessarily need to be productive. You could be, if you want. Yeah, anyway. So that's going to be tomorrow morning to enjoy for 420. And also, those of you that know me know that I don't really partake, so I don't really have a dog in the race one way or the other. um, you know that it is going to be just all of the information. And try and break it down into more human terms than what is out there. Thank you much. I'm making a habit of... I mean, that's fair. Nothing wrong with that. Well, feel free to listen. Hopefully you'll learn something today. Yeah, the most that I partake is the occasional gummy. And that's to make it sound like I'm talking to somebody while doing it. Yeah. That's kind of the half the point of body doubling. Trick your brain into thinking that somebody's there to judge you. Yeah, but if you know me, you know that the most I partake in is maybe a gummy here and there, when I can't sleep or when the pain is really, really bad. So, again, I don't have a dog in the race. I don't have a judgment one way or the other. You do it, great. You don't, great. Good on you. What you do to help you, if it works, then fucking fantastic. Run with it. So yeah, why don't we begin? Since we're at the 30-minute mark here, let's begin. And I'm weak. Lose my shit. Oh, okay. That took a second to process. When you partake, you're weak and lose your shit. Okay. Again, that took a sec. We got there. Got there eventually. All right, so I'm going to open with a question here before we start this. Genuine question for you guys. Has anyone ever had someone tell them to just regulate their emotions? You know, like they're giving you advice, as if that's something that you can do on command. Give me a 1 in chat if anybody has ever done that to you. Somebody said, just regulate your emotions. You know what? It's not unheard of. You know, you were... No, it's not unheard of. Yep, like it's so easy. Exactly. Exactly. As if we have a fucking switch. Right? Yeah. And here's what I love about that advice. It assumes that one problem called emotional dysregulation and one solution called emotional regulation, and you just weren't doing it right before. Which is fucking spectacularly helpful when that almost wraps back to how you are unable to flick the switch. So, obviously, with me doing this stuff, exclamation Substack, I read all of the not all of, but the important ones, and break it down to human language for you. There's a 2026 study, brand new one, that I just want to walk through. That is the first time I've actually said a research say, true story, that no, it's not one problem. That there are at least 3 different problems when it comes to your ability to regulate your emotions. They looked at it differently in the brain. They respond to different things, and that matters a lot. Well, it's more like slowly do a penguin impression. Sort of. I can only do that for so far. And honestly, I've got so shit balanced that I bounce off the walls while I do it. So, thanks for pointing that out, Ange. I appreciate that. God damn it. Fucking Angie. Oh, hey! I just got that notification over on YouTube before anything else. It's like we know you. I know, right? It's like I'm not exactly transparent about the majority of my life. Crash waddling. Hey, I like that one. shockingly, I have not, knock on fucking whatever, I have not actually had a big fall in like 2 weeks. Now that I've said that, it's gonna happen today. But shockingly, I'm fucking astounded. Anyway. So, part 1. Why emotion is the part nobody warned you about. Recognition first, no research yet. Can we acknowledge for a second that when most people hear about ADHD, they hear about focus and organization, maybe impulsivity. They don't hear about the part where a minor inconvenience can feel like a genuine emergency. Water, then the dishwasher kicked my ass, exactly. Maybe we'd put... I'm there with you, Ange. I'm there with you. They don't hear about the thing where your emotions arrive at full volume with no warning, and your brain is just kind of along for the ride. The gap between ADHD, between what ADHD is described as and what it actually feels like to live in, that gap is where a lot of people spend years thinking something is additionally wrong with them on top of the ADHD, like they're broken in an extra way. But doing D&D, so lurk. Appreciate the lurk. It's the end of the world. Yep. Well, paper on lunch. I tried. Thinking ship. Thankfully, my sister-in-law was right beside me. Nice. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad she was there for you. I saw a child. Do you need something, babe? Okay. I thought I saw her just kind of hovering there for a second. Alright, here's what I'm going to say before we go into the research. You are not broken. I'm going to say that again because a lot of you need to be reminded of that. You are not broken. Yes? Yes. The emotion piece is just part of it. It's documented. It has mechanisms. Just bent. There we go. It's documented. It has mechanisms. And we're finally getting specific enough about those mechanisms to actually do something useful with that information. The thing nobody told you when you got diagnosed, or as you're researching for your ADHD, it isn't just an attention disorder, it's a regulation disorder. Attention, impulse, emotion, time, all of it. The focus stuff is the part that gets the name in the box very badly, might I mention. The emotion stuff is the part that actually runs your life. Between ADHD and broken, but my mental health is definitely broken. No. False. I will disagree. Alright. Peter! How's Edmonton doing today? Is it nice and warm up there today too? Because it is definitely nice and warm here today. Sup? It's great. Excellent. Excellent. I haven't been outside. My back door is open so that my dogs can fucking run free. So I can definitely feel that there's warm in here. Gatey. Gatey indeed. Alrighty. So, let's look at what the research actually found. If it is broken, then it tried to put itself back together and someone else stopped it. Your mind is not to blame. It's true. Remember that little voice in the back of your head? That's not one that you didn't put that there. That's the voice of other people that put that there. Whether you hear it in your own voice or not, who's to say? But that's not your own voice. Maybe trauma is to blame. Maybe. And that's a very, very large maybe. Hey, lurking while you prep dinner. All right, you showed up for the call-outs. Excellent choice. I'm so glad you showed up for the call-outs. Welcome to Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. Welcome to the makeup for Wednesday. Think of it like stained glass. Even it is mostly metal in some places. Yep, gotta have that frame in there somewhere. So, alright. The 3 subtypes. This is what the research actually found. And like, yes, that's right. If you are watching over on YouTube, please smash that like button. I hate that fucking term, I really do. Give a little like over there if you're watching on Shorts. Do the little thingies, yeah, those and shit. I appreciate you so much. All right, so here's what the research actually did find. Oh, yay, call-outs. Get ready. Well, did you catch the title? Your ADHD emotions aren't all the same problem. Brand new research that I read about from this last month. Article put out last month. So this is what it found. The study, now the main one, the person who wrote it, his name is Yu. So if I say that, try not to get confused. I'm going to try not to confuse you with it. I'm going to say you and colleagues. That's going to refer to the people that wrote the article. Who's on first, exactly. We're the problem, not the ADHD. Wrong. Anyway, they took adults with ADHD and instead of measuring whether emotional dysregulation was present, they profiled it and they found 3 distinct groups. Group 1, well adapted. About 29% of the sample. These are the adults with ADHD who are relatively stable emotionally. The ADHD is real and present. The emotional dysregulation either isn't significant or they developed solid enough strategies that it isn't a major functional problem. You et al. Yep. It's YUE, if you want to be specific about it. Maskers level 3000. It's either that or that's the way that their presentation is, right? So not necessarily masking, right? Because we all present differently. Some of us are obviously more overtly emotional outwardly than others. Group 2, moderately dysregulated, was about 50% of the study. The biggest group by far, significant emotional dysregulation is present, but it's not accompanied by the same level of overall severity and comorbidity as the third group. Exactly, calm, cool, and collected, until I'm not. That sounds like my dog Dosey. Perfectly docile, until you cross that line. Once you cross that line, she'll eat your fucking lunch. So there's that. Group 3, severely dysregulated, about 21%. Highest symptom severity, highest executive function impairment, and the highest rate of comorbidities. And you know what just occurred to me is I did not... One second, let me grab the link for that. Sorry, that was my bad. I should have done this actually right at the beginning. Now, I believe... Yeah. This here will be the primary one. I'll grab you link, bitch. No, you can link these nuts. Okay. I'm going to put that as a primary paper. We will pin that. And there you go. So this is the article, the primary article that I pulled from. Now back to where I was. So yeah, hey, this time I can actually say, if you want the link, there it is. That's the paper. There were 2 others, but they're older. but this is the brand new one that just came out, and I think it was from last month. Yep, there it is. Alrighty. So I don't remember if I said it or not. Okay, group 3, severely dysregulated, about 21%. Highest symptom severity, highest executive function impairment, and the highest rate of comorbidities, other conditions that run alongside ADHD. If you didn't know what comorbidities were, now you know. So here's where it gets interesting. The study also found one distinct brain connectivity, let me try that again. The study also found distinct brain connectivity patterns for each group. This isn't just a behavioral sorting exercise. There are actual neurological differences that correspond to these profiles. So that's what this study had found, is that it... Drink your water! Good timing. Take your meds! Eat something yummy, motherfucker! I was just about to do that anyway. Anyway. Thank you for that, even though I know you're not going to hang out. Okay, so... That's me. Yes, it is. So the brain connectivity finding. The moderate group showed something specific. Weaker connectivity between the post-cent... Now, I wrote down the actual, like, scientific part of it here. Just to share that part. I'm going to get a little specific here. Okay? So... there is weaker connectivity between the postcentral gyrus and the amygdala. So what does that mean? Now I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly or not, because I'm not a fucking doctor. But the postcentral gyrus is involved in processing sensory and body-based information. The amygdala is your threat detection and emotional response system. When the connection between these two is weaker, the brain isn't getting clean signals from the body about what the emotion actually is or how intense it really is. Any odd font fucks me up. Have you ever heard of open dyslexia? Are you dyslexic, Peter? If you are, I didn't know that. No, it's just, and that's fair. I mean, there's a lot of people that not that I know of. Fair enough. There's enough people that have issue with that kind of thing. If you check out, there's a font called Open Dyslexic. Take a look at that and see if that's one that, like, your brain likes. Because that one, when I was able to do, like, captions on screen, there was a website that it actually gave me the option to do that. So I did all my captions in Open Dyslexic, so that way everybody could read them. Tried to read along with you and it messed with my eyes. Sorry. I use it for assessment and then change back before submitting. What, did you just look that up? There you go. I found you something new. You learned something new today. All right, let me wrap this section up here. Okay, so as we said, when the connection between the two is weaker, the brain isn't getting clean signals from the body about what the emotion actually is or how intense it really is. Think about what that means practically. You are trying to regulate emotions you can't clearly read. You don't know if you're at a 3 or an 8. You don't know if this is distress or hunger or overstimulation or grief. And the tools that require you to identify and label the emotion before regulating it don't work as well because step 1 is already broken. So there's that. So, you can't regulate something that you can't name. If your brain isn't getting clear body signals, naming it isn't lazy or avoidance. It is a broken pipeline, a broken connection between the two areas. So, My question to you, just to recap, what group do you think that you are in? Give me a number in chat. What group do you think you're in? Group 1, the well-adapted. Group 2, moderately dysregulated. Group 3, severely dysregulated. You don't need to be right, just go with your gut. Okay? What group do you think that you fall in? 2 or 3? 2. I'm in 1. Anybody else? How about those of you lurking? I'm going to pick on the lurkers for a second, if you are listening. I don't understand the task, but I have a streak of 3. I have no idea the context, so it does not apply. Your ability to emotionally regulate. Group 1 is well adapted. Group 2 is moderately dysregulated. Group 3 is severely dysregulated. But also in burnout, so I don't know if that matters. It contributes. It absolutely does. So, Lenny, if you're not in burnout, where do you think you would sit? Do you think you're well-regulated, moderately regulated, or severely dysregulated? Because I think I'm somewhere, like many of you, between a 2 and a 3. Probably 2. I think it depends. 1, but during COVID, working on my emotional regulation with Alex, I had to learn. Fair enough. Again, this doesn't need to be, you don't need to be right. Just go with your gut. I deal with it when I get home. Fair enough. That is fair. Probably 2-ish. And that seems like it is the majority of people here. Emotionally detached, keeps everybody at arm's length 3. Sorry, I'm just thinking about what Jay said. I think it was a 3, but might be going to 2. Fair enough. Good days and bad days. Don't we all, right? We've all got good days and bad days. Obviously, this isn't going to be a concrete, everyday thing. Shit's going to change every day. Your ADHD changes every day. It's a spectrum, right? We're all going to have good and bad days. Shit happens. But for the most part, it sounds like a lot of people sound like they are around it too. Wife says I'm the most patient man she knows, but then doesn't know how many times I flip her up behind a wall. It's not a cookie cutter thing. We flow. That's right. It's like water. Water. We flow. It's like a cat. It will adapt to whatever it is sitting in. Whatever shape. That's what the cat molds into. I mean water. That's what water molds into. Yeah, I meant water. For sure. All right. So this next section is, I think. Why are you questioning my response? Because of the detachment part of it. The next section is the longest part that I wrote, so we're going to save that till after the self-care break. So we'll just kind of like detach, see what I did there, for a moment. And then we'll just kind of, we'll get to that after the self-care break. The only reason I kind of... I don't know if it's so much I'm questioning it. I'm... Well, again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But the part, keeping everything and everyone at arm's length, does that make you a 3? I don't know, because the fact that you can recognize that you are able to detach. You know what I mean? It's that recognition. Yeah, question everything. Basically, and that's fair. That's totally fair, right? I only wonder because of your ability to detach from it. I agree with Jay though, because I do that a lot. If the dysregulator is bad, I go numb. Yep. And that's very common actually, from what I've heard, is that if it becomes so bad and you become so overwhelmed, you just, well, that slides more to, I want to say that slides more to autism, but that doesn't necessarily. Because instead of going to autistic meltdown, you go to shutdown. Right, but that doesn't mean that it's not a thing that ADHD people do. Yeah, it's a wall to protect myself and others, yeah. I would say that's a 2 or 3, but that's my thoughts. And again, remember, this isn't a monolith, right? We don't need to be 100% accurate, and I'm glad that we're actually analyzing this and discussing this part here, right? Our thoughts on the detachment, the removal from your emotions, the ability. Good point for me. Yeah, I actually learned about emotional responsibility in college. It was a great theory. Indeed. It does sound somewhat intriguing. I don't suppose you still have any of the information from that, do you? I'd be intrigued to look over that. Yes, please. And tag me, please. Otherwise, I won't find it. Put it in the mental health section, if you don't mind. Excuse me. And yes, with the weather change and the snow melting again, it's fucking with my allergies, so I'm extra sniffly and clearing my throat and blah blah, and I apologize for that, but I have more of an anecdote. I'll take it. I'll take it like a champ. Anyway. I love when grapes have a perfect crunch. Okay, so what I got to deal with outside inputs, other emotions, I'm good at turning off that part. But for myself, I suck. That's actually a lot more common a thing than a lot of people want to admit too, is the ability to do for others, but not so much for yourself. Right? Now you got me thinking, See what I did there? Look at that. It's almost like that's exactly what I wanted. It's almost like I want you guys to think about this shit. Wow. Fucking revelation. I see the bot just starting the morning. Hey, before we go to the self-care break, just another quick one here because why? Because, yeah, it's getting to that time. Yeah, I'm just going to point at this and say, hey, if you can, great. If you cannot, I still love you, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm going to do that anyway. Why do you want us to think? Because that's part of what my coaching is. I want you to think about this stuff. I'm not giving you one-on-one coaching right now. I'm giving you group coaching. So I want you guys to think about this stuff. For the coffee maker. Yes, for the coffee maker. Get it in-office Keurig. Why? Because Dan comes up with great ideas every now and again. Microwaves and crayons, maybe not so much. Fucking guy. Best I can do is better coffee than what we have had in days. Oh, instead of grapes. One-on-one is later in VC, that's right. Not going to give me any one-on-one coaching ever. Are you sure? Did you know, Jay, that I may or may not have already done so? Now. You guys are great. Too funny. Speaking of which, though, I have actually not eaten yet. You guys can give me shit for it later. I will grab a snack, I promise, on the self-care break while I'm refilling my coffee. I promise I will. Why? Because, well, you know, I'm a giant hypocrite like the rest of us. I've been fucking violated. Any of you that have caught me in a VC and we start talking about stuff like this, you know damn well I'm pulling out some of the coaching shit for you. I mean, it's not like I haven't technically been doing it for 5 years anyway. It's just now I happen to be double certified in it. So there's that. Got your house, I have not eaten yet. Ugh, I'm sorry, buddy. I fucking hate days like that. Nasty. Absolutely nasty. Oh well. Alright, on that note then, let us do the self-care break thingy. Grab yourself some water, a snack, hit the bathroom. Yoink, you got them. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to refill my coffee and grab a quick little snack. I'm at work, which makes it much better. I bet it does. I detected that sarcasm. Anyway.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Get a snack. tea went cold. Yeah, that's the thing. For the sake of accountability. Yes, I did just eat something. I just pounded back this little thing of Greek yogurt. So there you go. Just to prove that I did it. Alright, let's just catch up on what you guys were talking about here. Talking about balls, yeah, okay, that's no shock. Sometimes subtle, sometimes hit you with a brick. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, but there's only so much I could do in 3 minutes, Nadia. Dropped in the 18 plus Mandela. It's like, okay. Throw ice in it, you have an iced tea. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Pretend to be an American. I believe they call that sweet tea. When they actually, like, I could be wrong. Again, you know what? Americans, please correct me. What's the difference down there between iced tea and sweet tea? Me fucking talking about it like I know what I'm talking about. Got Americans in the chat. Why don't you guys just tell me? Iced tea is basically tea flavor pop. Yeah. Well, it depends. Right? Like the bottled stuff? Yes. The Nestea stuff in a can? Not so much. That I think. Iced tea is lightly sweetened. Sweet tea is diabetes in a cup. I'm Wilford Brimley and I have diabetes. I drank too much sweet tea. Jesus Christ. Ella told me once I wasn't paying attention. Shocker. I'm a New Englander. I have no idea. I mean, admitting it's a first step. Hey, you know what? Geeky Girl pretty much said what I thought. So, sweet tea is like the Nestea powder. Iced tea is brewed and cold. Yeah, that's what I thought. You show up at your house at a jock strap, also known as diabetes in a cup. With southern relatives. I was kind of expecting Angie to jump in there, to be honest with you. But, there we go. Alright. So, the next section. The treatment finding. Why the most dysregulated group did the best in cognitive behavioral therapy. You laugh, he'll do it. Yes, he will. Could also be ice diabetes in the cup right now. Well, it's are you guys getting hit with another snowstorm? Or another, another blizzard forecast out there? Or is it just cold and then gonna warm up? Because I'm hoping, I pray to the fucking maker that this last 2-day blizzard was the last of it for the year. Fucking pray to the maker. Because I'm so done with snow. Especially after, as I sidetrack here, especially after this last little bout, because we didn't have the sidewalk shoveled because it hit and then I had to get up and take Jason to school, right? It was only like 3.5, 4 inches of snow. And I could not step out of it, right? To make actual steps. I had to drag because my left leg doesn't cooperate very well, right? So we're talking like cold, wet, heavy fucking snow. So here's me dragging this shit. Oh yeah, I took forever to get to the car. Right? It took me like 5 minutes the first time to get to the car. By the 8th time that I had to do that, and I kid you not, because I had to go out and do shit 4 times that day. By the 8th time that I had to do that and come back to the house, my wife said she watched me on the door cam video. It took about 11 minutes for me to get from the car to the house. And the next 2 days, and even today, I am still in so much fucking pain over that. So I'm done. Fucking done with snow. Done with it for the year. I want that footage. No, you don't. I don't even want to look at it because I lived it. That hurt so much. I had snow in northern New England today, but it didn't stick. See, I like snow like that. Speed up to Benny Hill. Maybe not. It's not off and on here all day, yeah? Well, that's good. I'm glad nothing is sticking there. So no, nobody is getting that footage. I guess, this is a little bit TMI, but I guess that my wife took some of that footage and sent it to my sister, because my sister is she's very ableist in her mentality. So I think my wife took that footage and sent it to my sister to kind of be like, hey, this is what he's going through. Back the fuck off. Which, thanks, wifey. I appreciate that. The paint-driven bars on my windows. Go straight to the wife. Got it. Right. Don't. Yeah, wife for the win there. It's funny, she wasn't going to tell me that. And then I was complaining about how much my legs were hurting that day. And then she decided she was going to share that info with me. She's like, so, yeah, we had the poor you chat for a minute. I'm like, that's not quite what I wanted, but whatever. All right, let's get back on track here. Real strong copy. Hey. Okay, so the treatment finding why the most dysregulated group did the best in CBT. And so here's the part that actually, it surprised me when I read it. And it may or may not surprise you. Don't mess with people like Nikki. She's a nice little bite. Does anybody remember the door incident from like 5 years ago? Okay, so the severely dysregulated group, that's group 3, showed the highest overall, or showed the strongest response to CBT. Specifically, they showed marked improvement in inhibition, shifting, and initiation, and significant improvements in emotional regulation strategy use. No, Peter, there was an incident while I was on stream that there was a brand new person that moved in across the street and showed up at our door because we had a friend who was here for just a minute dropping something off and parked in front of his house. And he came over and barged straight into my house and started fucking babbling. Now, if you know me, it's a good thing that I wasn't down there. Bad for him. She was right there. And so everybody on stream got to hear my wife just fucking destroying this guy. And he's like late 60s, early 70s. Yeah. That's the incident. So for a while, and even still, she was given the nickname She Who Shall Not Be Fucked With. I believe it was Diane that gave her that name. Oh, if I was down there, and this was 5 years ago, so I was slightly more mobile. Yeah, he would have got a fucking right hook if I was down there. Anyway. Well, hello! Listen to the beepity beeps. Well, Greetings, Raider folks. Howdy, how's it going? Welcome to our happy little corner. I didn't even see who that was. Who was that who raided? And somebody give him a shout out, please. It's not a name I recognize, so welcome. MH Lighthouse. Well, howdy. I hope MH stands for mental health. Or at least in my department it does. Hi, welcome. Let me give you a little intro. Tyler, but people know me by many names. But most know me as Spaz or SquirrelDad. And here's a little bit about me. I'm a mental health advocate. I have autism and ADHD. I'm a giant nerd. I love space. I love Star Wars. I'm also a Mandalorian. I'm an artist. I'm an animator. I'm a musician. I'm a veteran DJ. And I love all things AI. So what can you expect here? Well, we chat about everything. We talk mental health. We chat about nerdy stuff. We talk about food. Hell, around here, off topic is the topic. All in all, we like to have fun, but we don't talk religion or politics. No. There's enough division and hatred out there already. My community is a safe space for all, no matter if you're neurodivergent or not, if you're gay, straight, or trans, no matter where you are, no matter what color you are, no matter who you love, no matter what you believe. You are all welcome in my house. Just respect everybody and don't be an asshole. So again, so there you go. There's a little bit about me. It's a fucking Kugel Blitz. Hey, buddy, haven't... You said space, I stay. Excellent. Haven't seen you in a moment. How you been, my man? How are ya? Also, yeah, we'll take a quick little pause here and recognize our raiders. How goes it? To the MH Lighthouse, that does stand for mental health. Hello, tell us a bit about yourself, please. Welcome. Oh, good, brother. I hope you're well. I'm doing the best I can. Doing the best I can with what I got. Today, you guys raided into what I normally do on Wednesdays, which is because I'm a double certified ADHD and autism coach. So today, what we normally do, we do it on Wednesdays, is I do a coaching session. But today, because I didn't get a chance to do it on Wednesday because of the amount of running around and shit I had to do, so I said, okay, we'll do it on Sunday instead. So today we are doing, if you caught the caption, this is about how your emotions aren't all the same problem. How there was a recent study that was put out that actually, if you are ADHD, it breaks down your ability to emotionally regulate into 3 categories. So there is, and I got to scroll back up for this here. The 3 subtypes. So there is group 1, which is well adapted, which is about 29%. Moderately dysregulated is about 50%, and severely dysregulated is the third 21%. So yeah, today we are going over all of that. So if this is the kind of thing that interests you, I also post these articles on Substack. So exclamation Substack, if that's your thing. I try to take the coaching diploma that I have and put it to use. So what I do is I gather a bunch of brand new peer-reviewed articles, and all of my stuff, all the information I use, and chat can tell you, is peer-reviewed, scientifically based, as accurate and up-to-date as it can be, kind of thing, because I fucking hate the misinformation. If you're on social media, I'm sure you've seen the assholes out there that are dancing to the little things above their head that are like, yeah, these are 5 signs that you have ADHD, and they're all misinformed bullshit. Do podcasts. We are trying to there's awareness, all forms of mental health. You guys I love, others not so much. I adore that. I adore that so much. Yeah, mental health awareness is something that needs a lot. It needs a lot more. It needs light shine, like a bright light shine on that. So that's what I try and do through my articles. Again, I take, what I do is I'm signed up for Scholar, through Google Scholar for all of the brand new articles that come out. So I get between 100 and 140 articles every week. Now I have to have Claude go through them and sort, because there's no way that I can go through that many, right? So I have Claude go through and break down that list to about 10, between 7 and 10. Yeah, way too many. That are the most relevant, because some of the articles are going to be just all like, this is the mapping of the brain, blah, 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 science, yada, yada, yada. Stuff that doesn't necessarily pertain to my community. But, when it comes to stuff like emotional regulation and shit like that, that's where I take these articles that I go through them and I try and break them down into more human speak as opposed to like science speak. You know, people who have got doctorates and whatnot. I try and break it down for the layman. So that's where my Substack comes in. So yeah, that's how I do it there. We used to do a podcast, but I got burnt out, unfortunately, doing the heavy lifting on that. Right? We did all the recording, and then I did the editing and the this and that. It burned me out, unfortunately, which sucked because it was a great podcast. Hi.
You want to do a quick callback?
You want to do a quick callback?
Yeah.
Come over here. Right there. No, right here. Okay, that works too.
Okay, I did.
What the? Oh, you little shit. My child just slapped me with a fucking burrito shell. She said, want to do a quick callback, and came in and slapped me.
I just wanted to be a real squirrel.
PolarBearded 88 says, stop everything
card, I
and
like
tell
that
your
one.
wife or kid how much you love them.
Jasa, I am under orders that I am to stop everything that I am doing and tell you how much I love you. All right. I love you so, so much. Even when you show up randomly in my office and slap me with a burrito.
I thought it would be funny.
It was funny. You have any idea how many laughs you got in chat? Way to go. Little shit. Okay, don't eat all of those, okay? Making chicken fajitas later. Not today, but another day. Yeah, welcome to my neurodivergent family. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that we do. Oh, well. So anyway, now that you guys know more about me, yeah, stick around if this stuff interests you. I'll just give a quick recap for those that are sticking around. What did we say? Okay, so again, we went over the 3 different groups. Basically, the moderate group showed that there was weaker connectivity between again, I'm not a doctor. The postcentral gyrus and the amygdala, which basically means that the brain isn't getting clean signals from the body about what emotions actually are or how intense they actually are.
Drink your water! Unclench your jaw! Take your meds! Eat something yummy, motherfucker!
That goes for everybody. I belong to a neurodivergent family. Just about everybody in the chat here does too. Cookies for anybody? Everybody, grab yourself a cookie. Grab a cookie, grab a drink. That's right for our new friends. Grab a cookie, grab a seat. Have a sit down. Join us in the pocket fort. What kind of cookies are they? Whatever kind you want. Cookie truck has them all. Alrighty. So what we were going into... Nope, not here, not at all, nope. We were going into why the most... Talking about Discord? If you want to join the Discord, there's the link right there. We have and it's not a fan club. I don't like when people look at it like that. It's not a fan club. It's not all about me. It is a neurodivergent community. Basically, it's a mental health support Discord is what it's intended as. It's a cult. Yep, it's a cult. It's that. We're all Mandos. Mando squirrels. You just didn't know it. Neurodivergent mom and kids, yep. And funny memes, that's true. We do have a lot of memes. So yeah, if you do want to join our community, there you go. There's the Discord right there. Sorry, I am shit at the whole self-promo thing. So, it's not a fan club. If a fan club involved finding help. I like that. Just watch out for the mods. They're assholes, says one of the mods. Still waiting on the Kool-Aid shipment, though. Kool-Aid's going to be a while. And sorry, I didn't poison it with arsenic or anything. I actually spiked it with Tylenol. It's to guarantee that everybody gets the autism. Anyway. Alright, let's fucking get back on track here. Why the most dysregulated group did the best in cognitive behavioral therapy. So the severely dysregulated group showed the strongest response to CBT. Specifically, they showed marked improvements in inhibition, shifting, and initiation, and significant improvement in emotional regulation strategy use. The moderate group's response was weaker. Let me say that again. The severely dysregulated group showed the highest improvement. The moderate group response was weaker. That seems fucking backwards, does it not? Thought the power lines were going back in the tunnel thing. I don't know. Our disruptors got distracted with Skyrim again. Shit, I gotta get back into them. Immune system, huh? Sorry, you kind of threw me out there. Anyway, so that seemed backwards. Yeah, you're finally awake. I'll rate myself moderate to good. I find CBT kind of pointless. See, as do I. I didn't process that. The people with the worst presentation got the most out of treatment. Why is that? CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy for ADHD and emotional dysregulation, explicitly teaches inhibition and strategy use. Those are skills, learnable skills. Now, your feelings about how they are, whether you like that kind of thing, I leave that to you, okay? I mean, it's not ABA, so there's that. CBT does have its uses. It absolutely does. Those, because they are skills. They are learnable skills. But the Sphere group had the most to gain from those specific skills because they were starting from the lowest baseline in exactly the areas that the cognitive behavioral therapy targets. So more room to move, more movement. Yes? Yes. The moderate group's issue, based on the brain connectivity finding, is upstream of strategy use. If you can't accurately read the emotional signal, teaching you more strategies for managing... Hey, welcome aboard. Teaching you the strategies... God damn, everything is distracting me right now. And I'm fully medicated, I promise. As I was saying... if you can't accurately read the emotional signals, teaching you more strategies for managing emotions you can't identify, are not going to fully land. You need to fix the connection first. And this is why the same intervention can work great for one person with ADHD and do almost nothing for another. It's not willpower, it's not effort. It's whether the intervention is matched to the accurate mechanism that's driving the problem. Also, we are not a monolith. If you've met one ADHD person or one autistic person, then you have met one, because we are not all the same. We are not all Sheldon Cooper. Monorail? Monorail. We're not all Sheldon Cooper. We're not all that fucking guy from that other doctor show. We're not all Rain Man. Everybody is different because they are spectrum disorders. So they they present differently. If you met me in public, would you know that I'm autistic? Who knows? Because I'm a level 500 masker. So who could tell? Whereas some people, you could probably tell right away. I'm caffeinated now, I'm unstoppable. Wait, unstable. You're always unstable. This we know. Your shirt would tell me? The logo of Squirrel Station? Maybe.
My shirt would tell you.
Yeah, come here, show it.
You see it?
Sorry if I was being autistic. It was probably due to my autism.
Yep. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I love her so much. My wife had those made for my kid and I. I just can't remember where the fuck mine is. I think it's in the laundry. Then how the hell are we supposed to learn to reconnect emotions while trying to survive the emotions? I love that. Me too. Well, exactly. And see, and that's dependent. There are other factors at play here too. Now, this does not take into account something that I struggle with immensely, and that is alexithymia, right? I have the inability to name exactly the emotion that I am feeling. Now, I went, my last therapy was on Thursday, and this is something, I love the fact that I keep missing the pain. I'm gonna fucking send you the VOD. That's what I'm gonna do. But, so on Thursday, my therapist, I went in, I saw her, and we talked a bit about my alexithymia, because that is something that I have been, as of late, it has popped up in other struggles. So, like, I don't know what I am feeling, necessarily, right? I know when I'm angry. I know that much. I know when I'm feeling guilty. Most of the time, right? I know when I am feeling shame. Most of the time. As for the rest, I couldn't necessarily tell you. It is, now when we talked about it, this is a completely different coaching thing, but when we talked about it, we tried to reframe it so that it's more like, it's not so much I feel, it's more like I think that I feel. The way that and this is a recent development for me, when it comes to emotions, I don't necessarily know what I'm feeling. I see more of a color, is what it is. I associate it more with a color, right? So like shades of blues and greens and oranges and stuff, right? So that's something that I'm kind of trying, that's a personal growth thing, sharing more with you than you may or may not want to know, but this does not take into account something like alexithymia. So for me, CBT on its own didn't work, but right now I'm doing CBT combined with something else, and does make understanding it. Exactly, right? If it doesn't work on its own, having something else attached to it that can help. It's the same idea in my mind. It's not the same, but it's more, and no, not synesthesia, because that's not taking one sense and trading it for another. It's just the way that I'm perceiving them in my mind, right? The way that I'm associating it, more like. But good question. Pardon the frustration, but being demanded to feel the emotion instead of thinking the emotion isn't a helpful tool if I'm already dysregulated and supposed to regulate. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep it. No, that's fine, Lenny. That's cool. I know you're in and out, you're lurking. That's fine. Okay. But being demanded to feel the emotions instead of thinking the emotions isn't a helpful tool if I'm already dysregulated. I'm not totally sure I understand exactly where you're coming from there, Moon. Are you talking about the way that it's called CBT for emotions I've been bashed before? Are you talking about what I was mentioning about me and my therapist? Is that what you were referring to? Or are you referring to the article that we're going over? Sorry, I just want to get your context right. And then once we do that, then we'll get back to the rest of the article here. How the article and how it relies on feeling emotions or naming them. Well, I mean, that's not. what they're saying is that there is a disconnect, right? In the brain, there is an actual disconnect between feeling that emotion and being able to name it, understand it, and regulate it. That's what they were saying, right? Is what this study is showing, is that they broke it down into 3 groups of who has better connectivity between those. I'm gonna get, if I'm getting what move, trying to let yourself feel your feelings or fuck you sideways is less than helpful. Well, yes, I agree with that. And a large amount of Jay's comment. I'm just starting to say, well, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. You kind of showed up halfway in between, yes? So you didn't. You may have missed the fuller context of the article we're going through. Which, that's cool. That's cool. Right? No shame for that. No hate. Right? I get it. But I'm glad that you brought that up so that we could clarify. Right? Excuse me. So, I'll very quick recap then. Just ever so quickly here, just to help out Moon and anybody else who showed up in between. My therapist has me using a feeling wheel. Feeling wheel, exactly. And I have one in my phone, and I think that is why I've been associating colors lately, Lenny, is because on that wheel, right? It's got them all kind of in different shades. There's also an app that I was using for a while that goes in very different shades and colors. So I think that's why I've been associating it. Anyway, so okay, real quick. There was a study, I think it came out last month. It is the study that is linked, that is pinned in the comment here. Okay? That's the one that I'm breaking down. What they did was they took adults with ADHD, and instead of measuring whether emotional dysregulation was present, they profiled it, and they found 3 distinct groups. Okay? The first group was well adapted. Second group was moderately dysregulated, and the third group was severely dysregulated. So this is what we're going over. And what I was saying was that the most severely dysregulated were the ones that responded best to the cognitive behavioral therapy, whereas the moderately regulated, it didn't affect as well. So you didn't put words in my mouth. Actually makes so much sense. For my birthday, I got a special sensory hairbrush, and it's amazing. I'm envious of that because you're talking about hair, and I have very little. So, Moon, are we caught up? I just want to make sure everything is all caught up and makes sense. And for anybody else that's kind of in the background lurking, hopefully we're caught up. Caught up? All right, okay, cool. And remember, the VOD's available, or on YouTube. This is going to be available on YouTube as well. So there we go. Or in my Substack, which if you just want to read the fucking article, exclamation Substack, you'll find it there. It's the one that came out on Wednesday, because we were supposed to do this on Wednesday. All right, where are we here? Okay, so CBT for ADHD and emotional dysregulation explicitly teaches inhibition and strategy use. Those are, okay, so we covered this. Those are skills, learnable skills, which is why the severely dysregulated group did better with this, because they had more room to grow, so they grew. Okay? For the moderate group's issue, based on brain connectivity finding, we covered this as well. Sorry, yeah, you know me. Anyway, if you can't accurately read the emotional signal, teaching you more strategies for managing emotions you can't identify is not necessarily going to help. You need to fix the pipeline first. So again, to recap, that pipeline is that disconnect between the, I can't remember the name of it, gyrus and the amygdala. So there's that disconnect between those 2 areas of the brain is what they found, which is why they broke it down into 3 groups. And, okay. And this is why the intervention can work great for one person with ADHD and do almost nothing for another. It's not willpower, it's not effort, it's whether the intervention is matched to the actual mechanism that is driving the problem. So if there is that disconnect, there's going to be a problem. So, my question to you. Actually, first, let me do a quick little call out here. Question. One in chat, if you have ever had CBT. If you've ever gone through cognitive behavioral therapy, give me a one in chat. I want to know. All right. So a few of you. Okay. So, for those of you that did go through it and didn't feel like it did anything, the CBT did not fail you. You might just be in a group where the body signal problem needs addressing first. Now remember, that is not a character flaw. That is a sequencing issue. That is a problem between the connection from the whatever it is, pre something gyrus. This is why I'm not a doctor. And the amygdala. There's a disconnect there. So to recap, one of the first things I said today, you are not broken. You are not broken. It is an issue with the connectivity between Area 1 and Area 2. All right? Has anyone here tried CBT for emotional regulation? We just covered that. Did it help? Did it fall flat? What is your experience? For those of you that did have it, what is your experience with it? Now, I believe Papa told us a little bit about it. My defense, my therapist before sucked. That's another thing too, right? It doesn't always necessarily come down to the teaching. It can be who is teaching you and how. Were they shit at it? Did they know what they were talking about? Did they just were they in their job so long they didn't care anymore? Were they just reading off a paper, right? These are all things that can affect it. So for those of you that have gone through CBT, if you can recall, did it help you? Did it help? Did it fall flat? What was your experience? Let's compare notes. Wire like a Chevy. God, they were shit. Been through it 3 times. I found it didn't really help, mainly because I have a big disconnect between what I think and what I feel. That's fair. Helped a little bit, not too much. Okay. See, I found that for the most part, it didn't necessarily help a lot with me either. So with the moderately dysregulated being 50%, it sounds like that's where a lot of us are going to be landing. I really got to shave my head again. Shit's getting too long and the weather's getting too hot. I was just complaining about not having hair and then talking about shaving it off because of the weather. Anybody else? If you care to share. If you don't want to, that's fine. That's excellent. And for the new people around here, yeah, you are not obligated to engage in the chat, but if you want to, you are more than welcome. We welcome all of your input. Mine was from the early noughties to and late 90s, so it was not working. We were written in school notes and I was punished for it. Yeah, back then, the amount of like education that wasn't there yet, the amount of understanding that there was, or was not, rather, back then, yeah, that is definitely a factor too. I'm through 10, 15, and 19, same guy. Is it just he got fired for gross misconduct? Well, that'll tell you something, won't it? They didn't know what they didn't know. And that's exactly it, right? And the amount of progress that has come with that's fine, Lenny. That's fine. Don't worry. You know me. Fuck. Don't worry about it. And that's why in the last 6-ish years, right, ever since the lockdown, there has been so much more progress on research and new good information on this, which is another part of why I am doing the whole Substack thing, is because a lot of this information, I don't want to say it's not seeing the light of day. It's just, it's not really getting out there to the places that it needs to get out there, right? Now, I'm not saying that I affect all of the places out there, but I'm doing my part, right? The amount of research and knowledge and just good information that has come out in the last 6 years alone since the lockdown is fantastic, right? Because once lockdown hit and there were a whole bunch of people stuck at home, them in their own minds, and they finally realized something's not quite right. Why do you think there was such a big spike, allegedly, in the number of people that ended up getting diagnosed autistic or ADHD? Because when you're stuck at home with your own fucking brain, it was good and bad. Yes, it was. That's why it was called a fad. Exactly. Right? There are so many people getting. Well, no, there's just a better understanding of it now. I have a better time recognizing that it was dysregulated, but not necessarily helping me to regulate. It did not double post on my end, Lenny, so it was probably just on yours. Making it available, not behind too much of a paywall, so it's not just stubborn people who want to. No, the paywall, and again, I'm gonna recap for the brand new people when it comes to the Substack. Okay, all of these articles, I break down the information, I give the base information behind it. That is free for everybody. Anybody and everybody can get that. The only part where I put a paywall on it is when it comes to the actual, like, the breakdown mechanisms, my coaching take on it, action points and stuff for, like, parents and shit like that. Yeah, and that's about it, right? That's where I paywall it. If you want, all of the base information is there for anybody and everybody, right? I'm not gatekeeping that. I never want to gatekeep that. But because I'm doing so much work on this, I figured we're going to paywall some of it. And it's going to be like the deeper breakdowns. The base information, free for everybody. Always, always, always. The lockdown added autism to my listener. Me too. Having said that, it clarified everything, laid it out, got it all in writing. Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel the same. Anybody else? Did anybody else find that the lockdown added more letters to their name? In my case, it was ASD. I miss the lockdown. Honestly, there are parts of it every day where I miss it too. How goes the stream? Following up after the podcast. Hey, no worries. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We are in the middle of talking about how there was a recent article that studied emotional regulation in ADHD brains. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to stick around. However, again, for those of you that are new here, every hour, you're the founder. You and I should have a talk. But every hour, because we neurodivergent folk are shit at taking care of ourselves, once an hour, in order to cover up Twitch's mandatory ads, we do what I call a self-care break. So we take a few minutes. I encourage everybody to grab some water, a snack, pet the dog, check your dishes, go to the bathroom, stand up, have a stretch, yada yada. That is coming right actually now. Both ASD and ADHD still adding more. Nice. Lockdown added hubby being able to find suffering. It was pots, more letters. It was, took off a flavor and put a spin on said flavor. I do find it weird when people talk about how much lockdown changed their lives. For me, it was just another Tuesday. ASD and ADHD were added. Self-diagnosed because funds. That's right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of minutes. We're going to have our self-care break. And then, Blizzard Fury. I got to remember that name. Blizzard Fury. I got laid off. It was great. I mean, not necessarily so much. Blizzard Fury, I need to remember your name because I want to talk to you. Anyway. All right. Time for the self-care break. I want you guys to get that water, get a snack, stand up, have a stretch, go to the bathroom. Do what you need to do. We shall return in just a moment.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Heroes fall and legends grow. Lights flash bright, the bass explode. This is the end of the road. Let's go. Fire burns where the cold winds bite. Through the chaos, through the fight. Tension builds, it's do or die. Will you soar or kiss the sky? Turn it louder, feel the flame. Rise or crumble, play the game. This is the end of the road. Oh no, where heroes fall and legends grow. Lights flash bright, the bass explode. This is the end of the road. Let's go. Oh no!
Were you recently assaulted by a watercraft in a freak staircase accident, and now you can't even lie in bed without groaning in constant agony? Or maybe you're just having trouble affording that vital medication that allows you to function at a basic level in society. Maybe it's time to look into the FML Insurance Protection Plan from ADHD Incorporated. Okay, so maybe protection isn't exactly the right word, since we're not actually protecting you from anything, and we're really only covering a fraction of the costs, compared to the ridiculous amount of money that you're obligated to pay us for your peace of mind. But hey, capitalism, am I right? Are we better than your current insurance provider? Maybe. Probably not. But who even knows anymore? So why not roll the dice and find out now with FML Insurance from ADHD Incorporated. Coverage does not include spilling hot coffee on yourself, getting scratched by a rabid trash panda, prescription costs, doctor's notes, accidental death, accidental accidents, any accident that occurs outside of your house, or any accident that occurs inside of your house. No takesy-backsies. Sucks to be you. Get your peace of mind today with FML Insurance from ADHD Incorporated. Pretending to help you since 1976.
Welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked, the segment where we give you information that nobody asked for.
Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13, but don't tell Jay.
This has been Nobody Asked.
Did you light your dorm on fire trying to ignite farts?
Did your neighbor trim their grass and your toes?
Getting a divorce because you fucked around and they found out?
I'm JP Schuster.
And I'm CB Mooster.
And we're here to fight for you.
Automotive accidents.
Medical malpractice.
Workplace injury.
Accidental amputation.
Call Schuster and Mooster at 1-800-DUMP-STAR.
How did our phone number end up like this?
I don't know, I just work here. Schuster and Mooster.
Attorneys at law.
My dad worked at a bakery.
We'll go to great heights for you.
Unless you're Cass, then it's regular height.
By hiring Schuster & Mooster LLC, you acknowledge that no one should act or refrain from acting based solely upon the legal advice provided by Schuster & Mooster LLC, without first seeking much better qualified legal and/or professional advice.
Hey kids, are you tired of your lame old video games?
Not really.
Is the Switch just not scratching the itch like it used to?
I mean, hyperfocus is a thing.
Is your PlayStation more of a lame station?
Dude, that was a shitty joke. Mom, Susie is using the devil words again.
Maybe it's time to try something brand new. From ADHD Incorporated Kids, it's the game of ADHD Life.
Hooray, another stupid board game.
In the game of ADHD Life, you get a glimpse of life with ADHD, without the side effects of medication. But fun to play with the whole family.
Do we have to?
Why are there so many pieces missing?
I didn't get my school accommodations. Now I need to drop out? That's bullshit.
What the hell? My husband left me for a younger woman because I forgot our anniversary?
So, do we just go in a circle forever and never win?
This is fucking stupid. Take this game back.
The game of ADHD life from ADHD Incorporated Kids. Also coming soon, Snakes and Adderall. Wait a minute, so you get to roll twice for 4 hours, then you go all the way back to the beginning and start over?
Who comes up with this shit?
Susie?
Thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know if they caught it, and I don't know if they're still here. Reminder, for those of you that did write in, we have a thing around here, it's called Rule Zero, which means you come first. Real life first, always. So, if you got a raid and run, we appreciate that. It's all good for those of you that are lurking afterwards. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. But I also understand, as a streamer myself, if you have to raid and then go do the dishes, go start dinner, do what you got to do, right? We appreciate that, and I appreciate you being here. So there you go. But yeah, I had asked Blizzard Fury, the founder of the MH Lighthouse. By the way, give them a follow. I see they don't have very many followers over there. So could I get a shout out one more time for the MH Lighthouse? And for those of you that aren't following, that's something that I just followed. I'm going to be checking out their podcast because obviously this kind of thing interests me. Can you play the FML insurance ad again? James didn't get to hear it, but he loved it. I'll play it again afterwards. This one right here, Blizzard Fury. There you go. But yeah, I had asked if, and again, I don't know if they're still here or not, but I had asked if they could give us a little backstory on the founding of that podcast and whatnot, because yeah, I'm very interested in that. So if they heard it, great. If they want to jump in and tell us about that, fantastic. If not, I'll be hitting them up later. So there you go. All right, so yeah, I caught Crazy Fish Lady. You struggled with your own hairstyle for a long time. Again, something I can't necessarily relate to. However, beard, I can kind of relate to that. Mine can only get to a certain point before I have to shave the thing off because of sensory issues, which is also unfortunate because that means that I can't grow the epic 13. Oh well, what are you going to do? All right, so next section here is one that I kind of actually alluded to and was pointing at. It's the alexithymia connection. So this one is for my fellow ADHD folks. I just want to take a few minutes and point out something that the study points toward, but it doesn't fully name. Closing time, I'm out. Maybe catch you later. All right, Jay. Be safe getting home. Let me know when you get home. Just cause. Anyway. So anyway, the study point towards something, doesn't fully name it. Thank you for that shout out for Jay, by the way, who I'm pretty sure is streaming tonight. Anyway, so for the fellow ADHD people in the room that also struggle with alexithymia, which I actually don't know. If you do struggle with that, with alexithymia, the inability to understand and name your feelings, give me a 1 in chat. Because I don't think we've ever really talked about this too much. I know that I go through it. I don't know how many others specifically. I know I have talked with a couple of you in VC about it. One, sometimes one. Not really. Oh, Lenny? Yeah, Lenny. Of course, Lenny, you and I have talked about this. Not sure if I specifically do. I do struggle with that. According to the test. No, not according to the test. According to what you feel / don't feel. I don't want to know what the test says. I want to know, do you feel like you struggle with it? Ironic, those words. So some of you do. Okay. This part here I wanted to go through exclusively because it resonated with me. It's something that I kind of picked up, and I know that there are others out there that also struggle with it. So this is why I kind of took this stance on it, or took it from this angle. That's what I'm trying to say. No, but I am unable to remember if it was just associated or not. See, for me, Moon, it's a recent revelation. Honestly, right? The amount of shit that I've learned about myself since the lockdown. Here we go, the lockdown again. But it is a recent revelation. I didn't know any of this before, right? That's part of the whole masking, fake it till you make it. Masking so hard, you mask it from yourself. Okay? So, the moderate group's weaker body-to-brain signal is functionally different from what we would call alexithymia. Okay, so it is a loaded question. And it's funny, too, because Jasa struggles with alexithymia, too. If I ask her, how are you feeling, she can't name it. She's like, right? If somebody asks me, how are you feeling? If I don't give you a bullshit fake answer, then it's, right? So alexithymia, if that is new to you, is difficulty identifying and describing what your own emotional state is. It's common in autism. It's under-recognized in ADHD. And in ADHD, it shows up at a rate that should be getting a lot more clinical attention than it does. There's only bullshit fake answers, even if I think I know. Right? Part of masking. When you have alexithymia alongside ADHD, alongside the ADHD regulation problem, that is, you've got two systems undermining the same process. The emotion arrives, the body has a response, but the signal between the body and the brain's labeling system is either weak or absent. Okay? So you know that something is happening, but you genuinely cannot tell what it is. That's where I am. I know that something is happening, but I genuinely cannot tell you what it is, unless it's something that angers me, right? I know what anger is. I know what anger feels like. Hashtag trauma. Sorry, what I meant was trauma. There we go. All right. So that's where I'm at. And if the people around you have been saying, just tell me how you're feeling, which does not fucking help anything. As if that's some kind of a simple request. This is why it isn't. It's not withholding. It's not manipulation. The information genuinely is not available in the form that they are asking for. So, for me personally, hashtag trauma. For me personally, like I said, if you were to ask me on any given day, how are you feeling? I don't know. That's where I'll just say I'm okay. Right? Because to the best of my knowledge, I'm okay. I'm not in a deep emotional state that I can identify. I'm not enraged at something. I'm not at a point where I'm feeling overly joyous or overly giddy about something. I'm okay. Does that make sense? Is that something that some of you guys can relate to as well? Because if somebody asks me, I'm good, how are you? Yeah. Now that's a loaded question too. If somebody says, how are you? To me, that's a loaded question. Do you want the canned response that I've handed out for the last 30 some years? Or do you actually want to know? There were times where I had a problem differentiating between they actually want to know or they're just asking to be nice. There's something how I greet you in a VC. And he's picking on me again. Everyone hates it, but I say I'm fine because it's baseline. Exactly. It's baseline. It's accepted. It is, it's just standard practice, right? And it becomes routine. That's the thing. is it totally becomes routine. So if somebody says, you know, how are you doing today? And you're like, I'm fine. I'm okay. Right? It's a baseline. Sorry, my meds are giving me dry mouth again. So I don't know how I feel is like the term, the statement, I don't know how I feel is not an evasion. Are we feeling a call out, Nadia? I pretty much say I'm good because that's what you just say. Exactly. Right? Now, if you did want to go deeper, I don't know how I feel is not an evasion for a lot of ADHD people specifically, or not specifically, but mainly is what I'm trying to say. Not specifically. It's an honest answer to a question their nervous system does not have the clean data for. As someone with freaking depression, I'm okay is an evasion. I know it's crappy, but answering that is I get it. I totally get it, right? Not only just depression, let's back up. Not only just alexithymia, but also for depression and things like that, right? It's not necessarily an evasion, it's your baseline, and you're also not wanting to overload them with what is actually going on. I also live the dream. Well, I mean, lucky for you. Living the dream is my default response. It was for me for a lot of years too. Because nightmares are also dreams when it covers my bases. Nobody actually means they're fine when they say that. I do, I'm literal though. Yeah. Or, also, you're alexithymic. Which means you don't know, which means I'm fine is your baseline answer. Because you're not processing anything deeper than that you have to struggle with. Right? But yeah, Geeky Girl. When I was working in the bars, especially in the later years when I was managing like the strip club and stuff, and people said, how are you? My default was also, living the dream. I don't know whose, but I'm living it. That was my default answer. Turned out, I found out later, there are a lot of people didn't like that. Whoops. I'll just check my give a fuck-o-meter. Yeah, not really. I often use my hands when someone asks how I'm feeling. Words don't always work, so movement takes over. Use your hands in what regard? Curious. Maybe you'll have to show me later. But, like, do you mean like this? When they say, how are you doing? You're like, eh. Is that what you mean? Flip them off. Tell them I'm grumpy. Okay, how you feeling? I often move in. But was I right when I did this? When you something like that? Okay. That was a good guess. It was a really good guess. All right. So, as for what we've covered today, what do we actually do with this? We're going to move away from the research and towards the application. Okay? This is where we get coachy. Paul and I got to run. Take care. All right, Papa, we'll talk to you later. Drink. I'm going to drink about it. May have done that in the past. It happens fast. Fair enough. So we've established today that there are the 3 subtypes according to this new research. Different brain patterns, different treatment responses. What do we actually do with all this? First thing, if you can map your pattern before you try and fix it. Walk through the self-assessment questions from the article. Okay? Which I believe, now I need to double check it. Sorry, just going through this real quick. not quite sure why I wrote that. All right, anyway. You can... let's... moving on. You can ask yourself these questions. How often do your emotional responses feel disproportionate to the situation? Okay. Now, we're talking frequency here, not just intensity. So, like, overall, you could ask yourself, how often do your emotional responses feel way disproportionate to the situation? And I'm going to learn behavior from years of with a deaf person. I mean, there's that. Right? You have extenuating circumstance. You live with a deaf person. So a lot of times you've got to, you know, hey, honey, how are you feeling? Shut up and bring me my coffee, mama. A kid, a joke. Road rage counts? Yes, it can. So again, we're talking frequency, not intensity. How often does it happen? When you're dysregulated, do you know what triggered it? Or does it arrive without a clear cause? That's a biggie. It can be a biggie for a lot of people. Is if it just comes from out of the blue and you don't know where it came from or don't know what happened. This is something that we sometimes struggle with Jasa, is when she gets into a big mood and we ask what brought this on and she's like, I don't know, right? That's a problem that we have to deal with there. When I'm dysregulated, I always know. Then you probably are in group 1 of this. I always have a cause. It's because other people suck. I'm not disagreeing with you here, my friend. And after an episode, how long does it take to get back to your baseline? An hour, half a day? Does it take longer? Does it take a few minutes? Right? These are all things that you can track and just kind of keep an eye on. Here is the one thing that I think is the most diagnosed. Do you struggle with the intensity of the emotion when it arrives, or understanding what you are feeling in the first place? Because those are different problems. My phrase is, that was 5 minutes ago. Yes, good answer. It's situational. Both. So again, just to recap, because I got a follow-up question for you. Do you struggle more with the intensity of the emotion when it arrives, or with the understanding of what you're feeling in the first place? It can take me hours depending on what happened. I struggle with intensity. Okay, perfect. You're going to be a great candidate for the next question. Depends on the situation. Intensity. Okay, so there's some people say, a lot saying both, some saying intensity. Okay, so if your answer was intensity, the emotion is loud, you know exactly what it is, it just won't stop. That points towards the severe profile. The work there is inhibition, braking, strategy use. CBT is apparently well suited to that. So if you said you struggle with the intensity of it, that the emotion is loud, you know exactly what it is, and it just won't stop, then that points towards a severe profile. If your answer is confusion, something is happening but you can't label it, that point toward the moderate profile and the body signal problem. The work there is interoception first, which again, many of us struggle with interoception. Interoception, for those of you that don't know, is similar to alexithymia but doesn't have to do with emotions. Interoception is the ability to read your body, to know when you have to go to the bathroom, to know when you're hungry, that kind of thing, okay? I realize I can't just stop. Mood. Confusion most of the time. Okay, so the work there is interoception first, body awareness. Noticing the physical location of the feeling before you try and name it. Where do I feel this in my body before what am I feeling? Did I say can't? Sorry if I misread that. I know what you meant. Apparently my lips decided there was a different answer than that. I could just have the intensity and carry on as if not a thing was wrong. And if neither of those is your primary experience, so if it was both, you need that fawn thing. No, I need my brain to lip connection to work better is what I need. So if neither of those was your primary experience, if your emotional function is relatively stable, that's real and valid. You don't have to manufacture a dysregulation problem just because you have ADHD. But that is according to what this study found. Again, you want to read the study. It is pinned in the chat. Oh, yes, I do have a struggle with interoception. I have a scar to prove it. Do I want to know? Is there a trigger warning that comes with this? And this seems to be a longer one today, so I thank those of you that are sticking around and interested enough to want to hear this shit. Before I get a response there. Matching the tool to the problem is not giving up on regulation. It's the only approach that actually works. So, intensity problems or identification problems. Which one is more yours, or both, or neither? You guys already mostly covered this. That was going to... I timed this for my question for afterwards. And a lot of you answered saying mostly either both or intensity. So, no, I just took hot bread pan out of the oven. I mean, it didn't register the pain as hot. Held it against my arm. Jesus Christ. Control the external appearance of the emotion. More intense, the less I externally express it. I sent BC for hours with it. What's the difference? I mean, there's that. Yeah, but in a lot of cases, you also intentionally set yourself up to get coached. So there's that. Let us move forward, shall we? The comorbidity piece. This is why the load matters. Giggity load. Okay, one more thing I want to cover before we get into any other questions or shit that you guys may have. Because I think this gets missed. The study found that comorbidity status was a predictor of the severity subtype. Not just ADHD severity, the presence of other conditions alongside it. Which makes sense when you think about it mechanically. The regulation system in ADHD is already running close to capacity. When you add depression on top of that, or anxiety, or unresolved trauma, or a sleep disorder, each of those is a placing additionally that demands... sorry, let me back up and reread that. I wrote that poorly. Each of those is a placing additional demands. Each of those is placing additional demands on a system that was already stretched. As you can tell, I can't fucking read my own writing, let alone what Jared was saying. My God. So, if you've been trying to manage emotional dysregulation and making some progress, but hitting a ceiling, it is worth asking whether there is something else in the system that isn't being addressed. Unresolved trauma. Yep, don't know about that. Not at all. The emotional regulation work doesn't land fully if the load is being driven by something the ADHD-focused intervention is not touching. Like your sleep disorder, like anxiety, like depression. Glad to know I'm not alone on that. Did you forget where you were? This is where single diagnosis, single intervention thinking shits on itself. The person managing ADHD plus depression plus anxiety plus sensory processing is not going to get fully sorted by 12 sessions of cognitive behavioral therapy focused on one ADHD piece. All parts of the system need to be on the table. You are not treatment resistant. You might just be under-assessed. So,
Hi ho, Kermit the Great Depression Frog here. I'm having a shitty day. Yay!
I love that. It's about to be more call out central than usual. If you've been paying attention, yep. How are you feeling about that? So just in case I need to recap, the person managing ADHD plus depression plus anxiety plus sensory issues is not going to get all their shit fully sorted by 12 sessions of CBT focused only on ADHD. All of this shit needs to be on the table. You're not treatment resistant. You might just be under assessed. If you're feeling called out, give me a 1. I gave myself an anxiety attack by walking into a room full of people. That'll do it. It hurt a little bit. Therapist describes it as having the branches. Getting working on it. Interesting. I like that one. 10 just give me a crying emoji. -1. I'm envious of that. All right, so here's a question for you. Now that I got you where I want you, I mean, excellent. Thanks, Nadia. That's a good one. I like that. It is a 1. Technically, you're number 1. Blizzard Fury, welcome back. I don't know if you caught my question earlier. It was, hey, can you tell me all about, tell us a bit about you and how and why the mental health lighthouse. What's the story behind that? Give us some context while I'm calling out my community here. Please, if you don't mind. Okay, so here's my question to you. Is there something running alongside your ADHD that's always been kind of known that it's needed more attention than it is getting? Let's try that again. Is there something you have running alongside your ADHD that you've always kind of known needed more attention than it is getting? You don't have to specifically name it if you don't want to, but do you know that if there is something running alongside it that needs more attention? Yes. And yes is a perfectly acceptable answer. You don't need to go into specifics if you don't want to. I do, but I can't name it. That's valid. Which also is kind of the point of the article. Which thing running alongside it? So your answer is yes. Pitter's answer is yes. Like the autism or anxiety? So your answer is yes. Specifically, the question was, do you know that there's something running alongside it that needs more attention? That you know that it's not getting the attention that is needed in order to help with it. Pretty much got a track and field team. Yes, you do. Okay, so it's the founder, and it was created on the back of a 48-hour stream for Men's Mental Health Stream podcast to help people. Excellent. I love it. I did follow it. I'm looking forward to you guys. I'm actually going to take a peek through. Do you guys have blog still up? Sorry, I was just on your Twitch channel. Videos. No videos. Shame. Where can I... okay, time for you guys to sell promo. Where can a creator find your podcast? And what I'm going to do, one ball, is because if you're doing the speaking... I'm going to give you VIP so that you can post links. Where can we, critters, find the podcast? Or is it just we have to watch it on Twitch? Because I want to know this. I didn't quite understand the question at first. Absolutely. Lenny, do you understand the question now? CTE needs more attention in general. I'm hugging my cat. Excellent. Yes, we want to know where we can find it. We are all about this kind of stuff. By the way, One Ball, I don't think I want to know the reason behind your name. You can only watch it on Twitch. Okay. No VOD, some of the content is tough to listen to. We are in the process of getting them on YouTube. Okay. You can ask. Oh boy. All right, what's the story behind it? Look, a dust spot I forgot to clean. Uno reverse. And while we're waiting on that, for the rest of you that have been here and listening, that is a that is the answer, honestly, that I thought you were going to give me. I guess I just wanted to be sure. Fair enough. That name makes total sense. I get it. Well, and I'm going to assume that it's all good. It was beaten and it's gone and done and dealt with. 41 now? Welcome to the 40s club. I'm in my last year of it, unfortunately. But in that case, that's a great name. But anyway, so for the rest of you, I have a son as well. Is that something that you are watching for? Yeah, and for the Lighthouse, do you guys happen to have a Discord or something like that? You're all a baby. Shush you. I'm not that far behind you, Indy. Yes, we do. Please, I gave you VIP so that you can share the links. Please. Promote yourself. Promote the Lighthouse. Promote your group. We want to know about it. Yeah, sell it. Sell it to us. Yep, this is, that's yours. Okay, there you go. That is their link. Bam. Whoop. Bam, I will take that. Thank you very much. And that right there is ours. Again, that's, I don't know if you caught me saying it earlier. It is not a fan club for me. It is a mental health community. There are some people that they get it twisted that because you're a streamer, you have to have a fan club, which I think is egocentric bullshit. I'm just a mental health coach, advocate, that kind of thing. So that'll show them if you drop. It'll get your account banned. Just ask Nate. My cat loves you. I love your cat. Your cat's amazing. I remember the videos you used to send me about your cat. But that's excellent, because I do want to know more about your stream. So it's every Sunday? Next stream will be Sunday, April 16th. Okay. I look forward to that. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to be streaming on the same time as you. Very small at the moment. We're hoping to grow into something special. There you go. Dude, we all start out small. We 100% all do. My Discord is like just shy of 2,500 people. They're not all active. But, I mean, it's a fair size. It can get kind of confusing. But we all start small, right? And because you guys are doing something that I think is important, I'm here to promote you guys. Not the train just taking down our stream avatars. No. The avatars are standing in front of it. The train's in the back. It's fine. It's all safe. There are no avatars standing on the tracks. No avatars have been hurt in the making of this stream. So as for the rest of you that have been sitting here and listening to this whole thing, do you guys have any questions about the article that we just went through? If you do, now's the time to throw them out there. There we go. I'll reach out. All good. My DMs are always open on Discord. I go by the Squirrel Father on Discord, so you can reach me there. I just joined your guys' Discord there. Only feelings if you have them. There you go. Lord Byron the cat sits in the cat bed behind my work computer to support me all day. I have them, but I don't know what they are. Was that? I'm not sure if that was to me or if that was a miss reply. I don't know what's happening. Well, if you do have questions, now would be the time to ask. If you don't want to ask here, you can always DM me. My DMs are always open for you guys. You can feel free to ask, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Pause. You fall into the confusion group. It's supposed to be geeky, girl. I kind of figured. I have them, but I don't know what they're. Ah, that was an Alexithymia joke. Ha-ha. I see what you did there. I see you, Linny. I see you. Hey, Linny. Does it feel like a concert night? Just saying. I mean, maybe. Maybe we can do that. Sorry, I'm getting off track. Well, I attempted at least. It landed. It was there. Train derailed. Train always derails around here. You're thinking so? Well, my wife left me for the night. She went to a friend's. So it's just me and Jason tonight. It'll be late my time if that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Define late your time. Give me a ballpark here. There was a train, not a room full of Roombas. I'm just doing that. Stay off the train tracks so you don't get run over. Exactly. Don't stay on the tracks. Well, I do want to thank the Raiders from the Mental Health Lighthouse who dropped in, because that was fantastic to know about another community that is small but growing. I'd like to be able to help you out as best I can. So I do look forward to, hopefully you guys can get it on YouTube, because you guys are going to be doing the podcast at the same time that I'm streaming, so I'm not going to be able to watch it. About 1 a.m., really? Why so late, dare I ask? Hey, beaties, beaties! Thank you much. Beaties, beaties everywhere! Fill the cup and blow it up. Yeah, dare I ask why so late? Because normally when it's that late, you're like, I was guided by our guest tonight, so it must be fate. I will take it. Your ear itches, don't let the cat scratch it.